Hi, you guys.
Hi.
So, I want to talk about the refineries in Wilmington and what it means to live in that city. I want to start by asking something simple. Have you ever had to question the air quality that you breathe? Most people, the answer is probably no. Air is just something we don't really think about. We can't see it, it's normal, and it's something we expect to be safe. But for me and where I live, it's not the case. I live in Wilmington, California, where oil refineries surround the community. Growing up in the environment, I thought it was normal to see smokestacks in the distance or the occasional smell of something strong in the air like a rotten egg. I didn't question it at first because it was something I was so used to. But over time, I started noticing things that didn't feel normal. For example, there are mornings where I wake up and there's a layer of dust in my car. Not just regular dust, but something that makes you wonder where it came from or if there was a fire nearby. And living near the refineries, it's not hard to connect both of them. I always wonder if this is landing on my car, then what am I breathing inside my body? So I'm going to show you a map of how close the refineries are in Wilmington. So based on this, there's 3 already surrounding. It was used to be 4, but this one just closed. So currently, there's 3 more. And that's polluting all of our city. And this is an image of all the refineries specifically in Wilmington. So that's what we see every day. We just thought it was part of the scenery. So today I want to talk about how living near refineries affect air quality, how that impacts our own health, and why it's something we should all care about. First, let's talk about the air quality. Refineries release different types of pollutants into the air, including chemicals like benzene, sulfur dioxide, which is the egg smell, and tiny particles that we can't see. These pollutants don't just disappear, they stay in the environment and become part of the air quality that we breathe. In communities like Wilmington, this means we are exposed to higher levels of pollution compared to other areas like rolling hills like where I work. Cars hardly get dusty in this city. It's surrounded by so many trees and air quality is clear. The scary part about the air quality in Wilmington is that it doesn't always look bad. It can look completely normal, but still harmful. That can make it dangerous because it's invincible. When you live in an area like this, you start to notice things. The smalls and the heaviness in the air, the way the people are around you are starting to have asthma, and when it becomes part of your daily life, it's easy to ignore. Are these things normal, but this shouldn't be normal to anybody? So this brings me to my second point. Living near refineries doesn't just affect the environment, it also affects people's bodies. Over time, breathing in polluted air can lead to serious health problems like asthma, respiratory issues, and even long-term diseases like heart problems or even cancer. And this is something I've personally experienced. Since I have been living in the environment for years, I now have asthma. And that's something that I have to deal with regularly. It's not just statistics or something to read about. I didn't believe it until I found out I was suffering from it and it affects my daily life. There are some moments where breathing feels harder when I go upstairs and when I walk along the distance or even running, or even like right now when I'm standing. This is when breathing feels harder than it should, and that's something that a lot of people in the communities like mine can relate to. It is important to understand that this doesn't just affect adults, children growing up in the environment, it also affects them and they get asthma. Now, we're talking about the people's health and quality of life. Just because these issues are common in certain communities doesn't mean they should be accepted. Which leads me to the third point. This is an environmental justice issue. Not all communities are affected by pollution, in the same way. Since I work in Rolling Hills, where the area is surrounded by lots of trees, greenery, there's no refineries, and inside or in the air quality is very clear and clean. But areas like Wilmington and other neighborhoods near industrial zones are often exposed to higher levels of pollution. And of course, many of these communities are working class communities and people of color. That means some groups of people are dealing with more health risks simply because they live that's really pause. Okay. That means some group of people that are dealing with more health risks simply because they live and where they live, and that's really not fair. Everyone deserves access to clean air. It's conversations like this that's really important to bring up because climate change and environmental issues are not just a global problem. We're happening right here in our own community, and many of us are not informed enough. So what can we do about it? The first step is being aware. A lot of people don't realize that communities like mine and mine experience on a daily basis has become a normal thing. But we think about climate change to think about melting. When we think about climate change, we think about melting ice, extreme hot weather, but we don't think about the air quality. And people are breathing every day in Wilmington poor air quality. The second is accountability. Refineries and industries should be held responsible for the pollution they create. This can include strict or regulations, better monitoring of the air quality, and making sure emissions are kept with safe limits. The 76 refinery in Wilmington has shut down for now, and hopefully plan to build a town center, but there's still other refineries that are still pretty active. People in these communities also deserve access to information. People in the communities also deserve access for information. We should know what's in the air and what we're breathing. The third step is transition. We need to start moving towards cleaner energy sources, like solar or wind. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's something we need to start prioritizing if we want to reduce pollution in the future. There's already a lot of pollution in LA, so we can start decreasing or minimizing that, and that would be a great start. And finally, community action. Even small actions can make a difference. Speaking up, supporting local environment, supporting groups, or simply spreading awareness can help create change. Wilmington is a huge Latino community, and unfortunately, not many people get involved. But even if we make an effort and be the example, we can start showing people in our own community why it's so imperative to help our city be healthier, cleaner, and beautiful. Living in Wilmington has made me aware of environmental issues that affect everyday life. This isn't something I need to look up or Google. This is something I live with. It's waking up to air purifiers all over my house so my family and I don't get occurring sinus infections. It's waking up and seeing dust in my car. It's dealing with asthma. It's thinking about what I'm breathing every single day. So if the air you breathe every day affects your health, would you ignore it or will you start by being proactive? And that is my speech. Thank you.